today we're going to be making a Hypertufa Moonface. I've just joined the Hypertufa Gardeners Facebook page, so you guys should all join up. We'll all be friends on Facebook. Anyway, one of the ladies on the group asked about the Hypertufa Moonfaces that I posted on there yesterday, and so I let her know that I would make a video. She'd know how to make it, and then there we go. So what we're going to do is we're doing just the basic Hypertufa recipe. The basic Hypertufa recipe. So for this particular recipe here, I have 3 parts. So where's my cup? Here it is. 3 parts peat. Now I'm sifting my peat moss through window screen, so it's quite fine. You can just put it through carpenter's cloth, which works too, but for this I wanted it really fine. I just wanted the fine particles out of the peat moss. I'm also sifting my sand. So what we're going to be doing is it's 3 of these of the peat moss, 2 of these of perlite, and 1 of sand. And then we'll do 2 of these of the Portland cement, and I'll put those instructions of the ingredients down in the description. But one of the things I'm going to do so that this particular Hypertufa recipe will be a little more fine is the perlite that I'm using. Just your regular perlite, you all know what it looks like. But I'm putting it in my little blender and I'm pulverizing it so it's a lot finer. Not pulverizing it to a powder, just smaller pieces. Okay, so here's the perlite after I put it through my little blender. So you can see it's smaller than it was when it went in. And there is some that's pretty granulated too. So anyway, there's that. We're going to mix that in with the Hypertufa. And then what I've got here is just a little plastic tray. It used to be a little deeper, but I cut the bottom off. This is the depth I want to make those moon faces. It's about 1 inch deep. And what I've done is I'm going to put a hanger on this one. So there's your aluminum wire. And I'm just using some tape to tape that down. I want these to stick up so that they'll grab a hold of the Hypertufa, and we will protect the hook part so that it will be able to be used to hang on the wall. Okay, now here's something I've done in the past. I've put the hook in. I've been so clever to put that little hook in so I can hang them up, but then once I start working on the little moon face, of course, you move it around, right? And then I end up with that hook like sideways, or it's not where it belongs. So help yourselves out and also mark your tray what the top of the little moon face head is supposed to be. All right, so I'm going to mix up the Hypertufa and then we're going to get at this, okay? All right, so I have the Hypertufa all mixed up right in here. And as you can see, it's going to hold its shape. Like so. Just pack it like you normally would any other Hypertufa. It's just a little more fine because I have made the perlite finer, I made the sand finer, and I sifted the peat moss a little more. So that's how you're going to get a little finer texture if you are actually sculpting faces and things with the Hypertufa. All right. It's okay to take a traditional recipe and tweak it to meet your needs. Okay. Let's start on this face, shall we? I'm inside because it's still hot out there, although it's been really nice. The weather's been really nice the last week. It's been great. So I'm putting the base in here. I'm going to smooth it all out, and then we're going to let that sit for a bit, and then we'll start sculpting the face. So I'm going to mark where I want my facial features. Now there's the top, there's our tape. See, I did it right this time. All right, so halfway down in between, this is where we're gonna wanna put our nose, okay? And halfway between the top of the head and the nose, this is where we're gonna want our eyes. Halfway between the nose and the chin is where your lips are. So we've kind of blocked out where our facial features are going to go. So I put my little blobs of Hypertufa where I want the eyebrows. Here's his little cheekbones, his lips here, here's his nose. I'm just going to keep going and playing with it. And you can see the water is starting to come to the surface. To solve that problem, paper towels. So we have this all roughed in with everything, all of the features where we want it to be. And if we keep messing with it, of course, that water just keeps working its way to the surface. And so we wouldn't get much farther. So this is, I'm going to cover this up and it's going to sit the rest of the evening and it's going to set and it's going to be more firm and we will add the finishing touches to it tomorrow. All right, it's the next morning and I wanted to get out here before this little Hypertufa face set too much. Got so much to do. I'm wearing my daddy's shirt today because I got to stay clean, so I'm wearing a smock. I've already showered. I've got events today, you know, parties, and it's a busy day. But I need to get this done because this isn't exactly the right space for doing anything else we want to do with it. So I want you to notice it's still soft. See, I can scrape it. So it's still soft, although it's very set, but it's still soft and sculptable, if you will, right? And so what we can do at this point, we can make more Hypertufa and add to and build up, or we can use our little tools. You know, I get all my stuff at the Dollar Tree. We can use our little tools and sculpt away so we can remove. So I think I like this right where it is. I hope the lady that wanted this little moon face will like this how it is. But this is what we've got. Isn't he just cute? So I'm looking at this. I'm using a paintbrush and I'm dusting away any of the particles that are still loose. You can see where he's shiny is where the water was setting and it evaporated and soaked in and did everything that it was supposed to do. So that's the shiny parts, and you can leave that or you can rub it away. Again, this is soft enough. You can do anything at this point you want to. I would not use sandpaper or anything on it, but a paper towel just around the edges to smooth the edges and to smooth off anything that you don't want there. Right? I can't see anything here that I want to remove. I don't know. I'm liking him just as he is. Maybe this little guy right in here. It's a piece of perlite that's keeping me from seeing the, there we go, keeping me from seeing the definition that I want to see here. So this is what we're doing, is anything that you want pronounced is where you're going to do some little extra carving. And you all know, you Hypertufa workers, you all know how to do that, so I don't need to spend a lot of time there. And what I want to do now is just kind of show you. And remember, this is where I get myself into trouble sometimes. I take them out a little too early, and then you all know what happens. They crack and crumble, and then we're sad. So use your best judgment. Don't take it out of the mold too soon. But I do want to be able to show you. He is set. He is firm. He's still green. But you can see here where the hanger is available. I'm not going to force this because I don't want to break him. So that will come out when he's completely set. But at this time, I do want to set him in a plastic bag to continue drying and curing. And if we put him in a plastic bag, he's going to dry and cure slower, which is going to make him stronger. When we work with cement and Hypertufa, if it dries too fast, it's too crumbly. So he needs a lot of time. And so I'm going to, I don't have my squirt bottle, so I'm just going to get him a little more damp on the top and cover him up and let him continue curing. This is also because he's soft. You see these sharper edges. This is where I'm going to take my paper towel and go over that sharp edge and just kind of round that out. And it is going to have little chips and cracks in it, but that's the nature of Hypertufa, remember. Getting it just a little damp will make it come off a little easier. There we go. This is what we want. A nice, rounded, smooth finish. People have let me know. They've talked with me, or they've told me on social media, you know, Venna, you could make molds. You could just make a mold of that, and it's going to be a lot easier to make multiples. And that's true, very true. And I've thought about it, but at the same time, I don't know, I like the idea of each piece being unique, each piece being a one-off, even though that might be similar to something else. And I don't know, there's something about having the maker's hand on it that I enjoy when I buy a piece of art, when I like to look at people's creations. I like to be able to see where they did the work and how they did the work, and I like to see the process with the hands on it. So I have not made molds of any of my stuff. I do use some molds once in a while, like on the ladybugs, you know, the little tiny fairies on the fairy plaques I've made. Those are molds that I've bought at the craft store in the cake and candy aisle. But as far as my own things that I make, it's all, each piece is hand done, and I like that. So anyway, this is the process. This is what we did. We've got the little moon guy here. We're going to say good night to him. He's going to take a nap for a few days in this plastic. So there's our finished product. All he needs to do now is finish curing, and I'll be able to wrap him up and ship him off to his new home. And I really do appreciate all of you joining me in the questions and comments that you give me. I've been told I talk too much on the videos, but my daughter tells me, Mom, it's okay. That's just a couple of people. This is your, she says, it's my video diary. So one day when I'm not on the planet anymore, the children will enjoy watching these. So telling some stories is a good thing, she says. So there you go. So anyway, I do appreciate the comments. I take everything to heart, ponder on it, think about it, and decide what I'm going to do with each of those comments that you all send me. I love when you show me and send me your creations. I get inspired. It makes me laugh. It makes me feel good to know that other people are out there having some benefit from my goofiness here. So, have a great day, and thanks for being with me.